a very famous restaurateur that's one of the things that he says is that customer service is providing or delivering an item in agreed upon time frame to a customer. Hospitality is how you make that person feel during that interaction, during that experience. So for us, we really are hardcore hospitality people. We want to make sure when you walk in our space that you feel like you're walking into our home and that you're welcomed in. You have to treat guests like their family like you, and you want to make sure that their experience is paramount. So that's really what we focus on at FairLane, is making sure that everybody has a good time when they come in.
Welcome to the Sold on Drip podcast, your ultimate destination for all things Dripping Springs. I am your host, Bill Cafferetta, and we are here to celebrate what makes this town the best place to live in the Texas Hill Country. It's amazing people. Join us as we sit down with local residents and business owners to hear their stories, learn why they love this community, and are proud to call it home. We will be spotlighting their businesses, find out why they choose to serve the people of Dripping Springs, and dive into the local events that bring our community together. Our finger is always on the pulse, and we will be keeping you informed about how our rapid growth and development is impacting our schools, resources, and the local real estate market. Whether you're a lifelong resident or you have just discovered Dripping Springs, you will soon know why we are all sold on drip. Thanks for joining and enjoy this episode. Bill Cafferetta here, your host of the Sold on Drip podcast. And this week I have a business owner here in town, brand new business that I'm really excited. I was actually lucky enough to get there for their opening day. And it's Kevin Whitton with FairLane Cocktails and Coffee. I want to make sure I get that right because the cocktails are probably the best part of the location. So welcome. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what brings you here to Dripping Springs?
Well, thanks for having me, Bill. So I'm an Austin native, born and raised in Austin. Been in the industry in hospitality for pretty much my whole adult life, about 26 years in the industry. First job was as a dishwasher and worked my way to executive chef, the general manager, and now to an ownership seat at FairLane. So super happy to be here in Dripping Springs. My wife and I moved out here 6 years ago when we had our son, and we needed to be closer to the job we had at that time, and so we really enjoyed our time out here. It's much quieter, more relaxed. Love the pace here as opposed to Austin. So very happy to be in Drip.
Yeah, I agree, man. It's different being from the Northeast coming in. I thought Austin was calm and slow paced, and then started to pick up. And then after coming out here to Dripping Springs, I think it's been 6 years for us as well. 6 or 7 years we've lived out here now. So I agree. And the people here are amazing. Some of the best. But so new business right over there on 12. I know everybody was driving by this location asking questions for about a year or so, like what's going in there, what's going to be there, and there was a lot of confusion. But you guys opened that up, man. FairLane, it's a really cool place, and I would love to hear more about the actual location, what you guys did with it.
Sure. So my wife and I were at Bear King Brewing Company during COVID, and we had always wanted to do a restaurant before. And just seeing how COVID affected basically the business model of a conventional restaurant, and as far as pay scales changing, margins getting thinner, wasn't really something that we thought would be economically viable for us. So we both have a little bit of experience in bars. I ran Javelina Bar in Austin for 2 years, and my wife is very experienced. She opened Ten Oak and managed Cedar Street, as well as a number of other places. So for us, a bar kind of made sense. So we started looking around Drip, and a lot of the places we found were just not either the landlord didn't want to do a bar, or the place wasn't set up with the septic to have enough room to do a bar as far as the operations of that. So we actually we found the spot on 12. I found it randomly on LoopNet, and it was kind of funny because the person who is the majority landowner and landlord of that property was actually the landlord of Javelina when I was at Javelina. So we actually knew each other a little bit. So that's kind of what, just for me, it's kind of like I'm a big believer in convergence and and the universe. So I was like, okay, this is telling me something right here. I need to look into this more. So started to look into it. budgeted and do the business plan. And eventually, initially we ended up walking away from it because financially it wasn't really making a lot of sense for us, just because of what we would have to put into the building to enclose and condition it. But down the road, my now business partner came back around and said he was going to make those improvements, and we just started talking, and we ended up forming a partnership. And so that's when everything got started. I signed my LLC agreement with my partner on January 5th. And I was at Ramen Tatsuya at that time, and also in South Lamar. So we worked there for one more month and started full bore on February 1st. So we really had a lot of work in front of us to get that space where it was, because when we took over, it was just a shell. We had none of the windows were in on the door, the windows were in. It was no electric was up. It was really raw. So thankfully, my wife has amazing taste, and I have a little bit that I think I inherited from my parents. My mom's interior designer, my dad's an architect. So we really kind of developed this idea for what we wanted the space to look like. We really have had a lot of great experiences and spent a lot of time in West Texas, especially Marfa. So we wanted the overall feel to kind of be like West Texas, Marfa meets South Austin and the Hill Country. So we wanted the space to, not be industrial. We wanted to soften it. Really wanted to look like a West Texas cabin, but a dressed up version. So yeah, it was just a lot of work, a lot of design stuff in a short period of time. I always make the joke, opening a business is a lot like landing an airplane. You have your destination, you have an ETA, maybe you get some turbulence on the way, but eventually you land. This was landing a plane, like a bush plane with no landing gear, in between an elementary school and an old folks home. There was no room for error at all. But thankfully, we've done a few of these, my wife and I. So we actually opened and developed the All Stop Brewery. We helped open Bear King Brewing, and I also opened a restaurant as a chef. So my wife opened Tin Oak. So we in Austin. So we knew what it took, and thankfully we're just a great team, and we're able to put it together.
Sounds like you married up like most of us.
Yeah. To say the least. I don't deserve her, but I'm glad she chose
one of the smartest business decisions we could ever make.
Very true. Very true.
It's a great story. And what I'm very impressed with, on the commercial real estate side of things, building those places out is not easy. It takes time. And that's almost where a lot of businesses can fail before they even get the doors open, because the amount of money that's going into the rent and the build out before you even start is astronomical. So you guys did a fantastic job in the time you had to get that place open.
Thank you. Yeah, it was, we definitely, we had a deadline, a hard one. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it was like May 14th. We had to have our CO, or we'd have to go through a re-permitting process. So yeah, it was really down to the wire. We got our CO just a handful of days before the deadline, and we were ready to go at that point. So yeah, it was very condensed. There was, and with the labor market these days, there's not a lot of like quality tradesmen out there, but luckily we were able to get a few good ones. Mm-hmm. And so they helped us through, and it shows in the quality of the work. So we're very, very happy we got to work with those folks.
Well, we can help you keep them by coming in and tipping those baristas and bartenders and make sure that they get appreciated. But I've been there during the day. Been there. I was actually there at opening day. I was so excited. A buddy of mine texted me. He's like, "FairLane's open." I was like, "Great." We went over there and met him for a cup of coffee that morning. And then I've been there a couple of times. What's really nice, what I personally love about it, with my family, is y'all have a nice playscape. And for families, that's huge. Not a lot of places have that. Even some of the breweries around town won't have that. And that's a big draw for us. My kids had a blast out there this weekend.
Oh, good. Yeah, that was one of the things we knew we needed to have in this community. We have a 5 about to be 6, and two, about to be three. And, there were places before we did this where we would go specifically for the playscape, not for the food necessarily or anything else. It was just like, a certain slide or a certain, certain feature. And so we knew how important that was going to be and what a cornerstone that would be to our demographic. And so
it's funny you say that, because like my wife and I had this conversation last night. And we end up going over to Route 12 filling station quite a bit because it's my daughter's favorite spot, because they have the splash pad and the little playground there. And like, it's good. I like it. I don't like it enough to eat there 3 times a month, but the kids love it, so it brings us back. Kids will do that, man. And that's a very underutilized business tactic, I think, that people forget about, is how important keeping parents happy through their kids is. And getting them where there's kids options. I said that with Lori over at Matsama. They're genius because they have that goat cookie. I can't go on Mercer Street without my daughter asking for a goat cookie. You got to play to the little people. And then when you go in there, what's even smarter is the goat cookie is about knee high for us, but face level for the kids. So really smart business tactic to keep those kiddos happy. So you had a lot going on there, man. Great facility. Looks great. It's beautiful. Like your backsplash with that tile, everything looks awesome. It's basically a coffee till booze type place because you got both and some food trucks. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what y'all offer and the types of drinks and the types of, the coffee, maybe where it comes from. I don't know if you roast it yourselves or it comes in, and then the different food trucks you have on site.
Sure. So all of that was a pretty collaborative journey. The ironic part about FairLane is that neither my wife or I are necessarily coffee people, as in drink it every day, if at all. So there was a large education piece missing there that we needed to fill. So luckily, throughout our journey, we found our partners, and we really chose them based on how helpful they were and how and helping us learn about coffee, but also suggestions with operations and menu suggestions, things of that nature. So the first person that contacted me was Mike from Weathered Hands. So he has a little micro roastery out here in Dripping, and so he just came by and we just started talking. And he invited myself out to his roastery, and we did a cupping, and just like, he is just so knowledgeable when it comes to coffee that it was just, I was kind of blown away. And so, we wanted to do our due diligence, excuse me, and look at other roasters and things of that nature. So we continued to look around, and Mike was always there, regardless, and was super helpful. So we knew we wanted to partner with Mike. And then, but we also knew we needed some variety. So for me, what FairLane really is variety and quality. That's what we want to provide. So we knew we wanted to have some variety as far as the coffee went. And so we had 2 other people that we had talked to that we were really interested in. One of them was Tom from Third Coast, who actually lives out here in this area. And the other one was Greater Goods. Greater Goods really kind of won me over because they have a huge educational piece they offer their partners. They offer time in their literal laboratory. I mean, this is a coffee laboratory. It looks like you should wear a lab coat when you go in there. And so they'll do like 4 hours of training every 6 months with their staff. And, they're also their roasteries right here in Dripping. So it makes sense logistically.
And the coffee tastes great.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
They have really good coffee.
That was another thing. It was, through this journey, we kind of all realized that, our palates from our previous lives as chefs were, my wife was a pastry chef, and so we both, we know what we like, but we didn't know what we liked was good necessarily.
Right. So
having these partners as sounding boards was vastly helpful and very important to our process. So so we ended up going with Greater Goods for our espresso, and Weathered Hands and for our specialty drip, and then Third Coast for our house trip. So we were able to utilize all three partners. And at the end of the day, it was like Sophie's choice for me. I didn't want to just pick one. So we decided to keep them all. And so really happy about that. That's how we kind of got our coffee program together. The cocktails, that was something that, my wife and I are very passionate about. We knew that like there was a few places in Austin that, I think do a really great job when it comes to that. But one of the things that really kind of turns me off on them is sort of, there's always this, I don't know how to say it, just this like, you're not cool enough to be here vibe. At least maybe I just felt that way.
Right.
Or maybe it's I didn't have a felt hat with a feather in it and like a bone necklace. I don't know. So we wanted it to be a really unpretentious vibe, but like really welcoming vibe. But the quality needed to be there. And thankfully, my wife is extremely talented in many ways, and she is one of the best bartenders I've ever known. And we also have another person that works with us who is an excellent bartender in his own right, like Sean Hines. So between the three of us, mostly Sean and Cass, I offered a few and put on a few drinks and was the thumbs up, thumbs down on a few things. But
Yeah,
they really did a great job working on that program, and that took really all. I mean, we met together at least once a week, all day long to go to R&D cocktails. And we went through a number of different ones, and not every one we worked on made the list. But I wanted to represent all the spirits. But at the end of the day, we're bourbon and tequila and mezcal folks, so we really love the agaves. So we're a very agave forward bar purposely. So that that's how that program got together. We're really proud of it. I think our cocktails are some of the best around, and I'd like to put them up against anybody. When it comes to beer, that's really my passion. Opening breweries and learning about beer, and something that's always been really close to me. That just is my favorite also. So that was like my little baby, getting to pick out all the beers and the draft system, things like that. So I really wanted to represent folks that I've grown to know and appreciate the industry. A few in particular, ABGB, who they don't distribute, but thankfully I have the blessing of getting to work with Amos Lowe and Brian Peters when they were at Uncle Billy's before they went to ABGB. So when we were starting up, I reached out to Amos and got hooked up with them, which is awesome. Also, Bear King Brewing Company, very close to my heart. The Guidry family is some of the best people I've ever known. And I had a great time working for them, and JD is a phenomenal brewer. So I wanted to showcase them as well.
Yeah, it's been a while since I heard about Uncle Billy's, man. I used to go there quite a bit down on Barton Springs.
Yeah. So
it's a great place to go watch some college football and just hang out.
Yeah. While it was there, it was cool for sure. But yeah,
what is
so
that now?
I'm sorry.
What is that now?
It was Austin Eastsider. It was Austin Eastsiders. And then now it's that location isn't there anymore. They're not at the location anymore. So I'm not sure what's there now.
Yeah, with all the kids, you can imagine we don't get the free Saturdays to go drink beers on a patio in Austin anymore.
Yeah, I can imagine that being tough.
But that makes you guys great. You're right across the street from us, so we can just kind of roll down the hill. And
that's part of it. That was also part of how we why we really wanted a location. We knew that as soon as we saw it, that was going to be a really great location because of proximity to all the neighborhoods around us. Spring Lake, Cortaro, Founders, the neighborhood I live in, as well as Big Sky and the Heritage going in, all the ones up 12. So,
and you
proximity.
guys get some nice fallout from events at Ranch Park too.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't coincided with any of those yet that I've known, but looking forward to that too. Interested to see how the 4th goes. I think we're going to have a really good view of the fireworks from our patio because we're right there next to them. So, are
the fireworks at Ranch Park this year?
I'm not sure. I thought they were, but if they're not,
They might be. I haven't seen where they are yet. I know last 2 years they were at Hog Heaven, and then before that they used to do them over there. So I hope they are there. That would actually be great for all of us in this area.
Hopefully it is, but I'll have to check on that.
The location's outstanding. You're 2 minutes from Mercer Street. I mean, 290 and 12, you're right at the main intersection of town. You guys got a lot going on, man. The cocktails look great. I haven't had any yet because I haven't been there afternoon, and I try to keep it coffee in the morning when I can. But the coffee's great. I've had the cold brew, the drip. I had a cortado one day when I was having a meeting there. How about those food trucks? The food trucks look good. Haven't had a chance to have those yet, but you got some burgers, tacos, pastries.
Yeah, that was another big piece of the puzzle. The one thing I knew going into this was, that we're going to need food trucks, was that the biggest thing is consistency. They got to be open when we're open. So when people come, they're not gonna be disappointed. They don't, and that's the thing with food trucks. Sometimes they're open, sometimes they're closed, sometimes they're out of product. So that was my big conversation when I was meeting with these business owners about talking about their businesses. Are you, some were ready to scale up. Mr. Chingon was already in the process of getting his second truck, so he was ready to go. And then also Teal House, they kind of came in at the last. That was I'll circle back to them because that's an interesting story. And then AT Eats. So we have AT Eats and burgers, and we have Mr. Chingon does amazing tacos. And then Teal House, which kind of came to us randomly through my business partner's assistant, connected Lance and I, and she's a big fan of them. When I met with Lance and saw their product, I was like, man, this makes sense. Like, I've been looking for a breakfast truck. You guys do breakfast, so we ended up talking, and thankfully Lance was able to come aboard. All the trucks there have been some growing pains. Staffing is tough, but they've all overcome. And so now we're looking at next week. Everyone's going to be open 7 days moving forward. So Teal House is open from 7 a.m. to 2. And then Mr. Chingon and AT Eats are open from 11:30 to 9. So okay. We really want to have, and as again, it goes back to variety and quality. Want to have, want people to have the option to, not just say, oh, that's just a barbecue truck there. I don't want to eat barbecue. So we really want to kind of span as much of the gamut as possible.
Right.
To offer that to the customer.
What are the hours for FairLane in general?
We are 7 to 10 every day, and then we're open till 11 Friday, Saturday.
Okay. That's cool. And then there's no issues with serving after, I guess 11 is when it cuts off here in Dripping Springs, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we do last call at 15 till. But we are a judgment-free zone. So according to Texas law, you can get a cocktail at 7 a.m. every day except for Sunday. So
no judgment here on that. Just a lot to wrangle those kids after you've had a cocktail. The problem is that it exhausts you for the rest of the day, right? You have that morning cocktail, and then next thing you know, you go home, and now you're just like,
yeah, you gotta have a grandparent waiting in the wings, or nanny help you out.
Yeah, my issue is I have no problem not starting, but if I start, I don't want to have one because then I just get tired, and then you have 2 or 3 and your day's ruined.
See, that's the thing. You can bounce around, man. You can do the FairLane speedball. You can get yourself a Bloody Mary, an espresso, go back for a beer, double shot of espresso. You just work that back and forth.
Go. You guys make your own Bloody Marys on site, or
we do. Yeah, we do. It's my wife makes amazing Bloody Marys, but I like a little bit more stuff in mine. So she is the author of the recipe, and she has kind of taken what I like and made it an amazing Bloody Mary mix.
What vodka are you guys using for that?
We use so our well is vodka. So that's typically what we'll use, but Dripping Springs is the next step up. But we do have Tito's. So we have Tito's, Dripping. We have a few different options there.
Dripping Springs has got a heck of a facility over there.
Yeah, I haven't had time to make it over there, sadly enough. It's right next door to my daughter's school. So
it's been I know what you're talking about. They're really nice. I used to do a lot of the chamber events there, so we would do those, and then I held a parent night for our lacrosse team in their big area, which worked out really well. They got some nice stuff over there. And then on the same road, actually, and I don't know if you're familiar with them, it's like half a mile down, and actually might be right next to the school, is the Bloody Buddy. You familiar with those guys?
Yeah, I actually met him the other day, the owner, and I'm so mad I can't remember his name right now, but
Joey.
Joey, yeah, he did
Yeah.
approach me in the parking lot when I was picking my kid up, and yeah, meaning to get over there and talk to him, but lately it's just been drinking out of a fire hose at work. So hopefully
I'll connect you guys. He's a really good friend of mine, and they make some really good stuff. And I was going to say, you might want to. They now, on top of just their regular pre-mixed Bloody Marys that they sell, like specs and all that, they have the actual infused chili pepper vodka. So if somebody wants a little extra kick, that might be an option to look into. That's new. I mean, that came out. I tried it for the first time at Founders Day, and I think they were just getting it in stores this spring.
Okay, yeah,
Really good stuff. Yeah, it's really good stuff. He made like a margarita with the chili vodka, and I think he placed like 7th at the Founders Day Fest for it. It's pretty good.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
He's a good one to know. I'll connect you guys for sure.
Cool.
What else, man? What about the property? Anything else that listeners should know about coming out to FairLane? Do you have any events coming up? Do you guys have any 4th of July? Would be a good time to get out there. What else is coming up this summer?
Yeah, right now we're really kind of trying to work on getting our operations dialed in. We're working on some more some events for the fall. So I'm a big football fan, so we're definitely going to be showing the games. But yeah, right now we've been open, not even a month yet. So, and with that short opening time frame, it's like there's some. You got to make some sacrifices when it comes to time management. So the events program is one of the things that had to basically wait till the end, but we're working on it right now, and we've gotten a lot of inquiries for private events, which is really encouraging. And
That's good.
Working on putting together some local artist malls and installations, pop-ups, things of that nature. Also, we're too late to do it now, but we have a whole crawfish set up. So next season we're going to be doing crawfish boils regularly. Eventually, like once we get some more grass on our playground, I want to do some stuff for the kiddos, like squirt gun Saturday or something like that, where they can run around and have some fun.
Good idea, man. Parents buy drinks and kids need somewhere to go have fun.
Yeah, they can run it off in the field, man. It'd be great.
Exactly. Cool. Well, I have a couple questions for you too that I just like to ask guests, because like for me personally, as a small business owner in town, I like to learn from experiences of other small business owners. So one of the questions I have, and I'm going to put you on the spot here because we didn't talk about this earlier, is what are some things that you've learned in the service industry? Maybe not necessarily opening the bar and everything else, but that you've learned in the service industry that have really sunk in and helped you be successful as you move forward on the ownership seat.
Well, I think the biggest thing that I've always had is just the ability to take away knowledge from even negative situations. I've had a long career, ups and downs, but I've learned from everyone, whether it's been positive or negative. So really just taking all those insights and kind of putting them together has made this process easier. But really, when it comes down to, for me, there's a very famous restaurateur that's one of the things that he says is that customer service is providing or delivering an item in agreed upon time frame to a customer. Hospitality is how you make that person feel during that interaction, during that experience. So for us, we really are hardcore hospitality people. We want to make sure when you walk in our space that you feel like you're walking into our home and that you're welcomed in. So we want the place to be warm. We want the place to be welcoming. We want everybody to feel like, they can come up and, ask us questions about a cocktail, and we can help guide them if they need anything, if they need any guidance, and just be part of the fam. And so I think that's the biggest thing for me is that I've learned, that I've taken away, is that, you have to treat guests like their family, and you want to make sure that their experience is paramount. So that's really what we focus on at FairLane, is making sure that everybody has a good time when they come in.
I think that's a good business lesson and a good life lesson, because in any situation, like, you don't always remember what you did or where you went, but you always remember how somebody made you feel.
Absolutely.
Always. That's that takeaway. And you could completely drop the ball and have had a terrible experience with the meal, but if they take care of you and apologize and, give you a gift card to come in next time, or just kind, you always remember that. And that's where you go back. It's one of those things. I saw a meme today that was like, it's funny when you look at local businesses, and sometimes you get one shot for that impression, right? Like, people will go somewhere and like it didn't meet their expectations, but that same person will give McDonald's 32 chances to get their burger wrong, but that local business gets one. So standing behind what you do and being hospitable is really important. I think you guys are doing a fantastic job. The place looks great. The playground's out there now. So if you have kids, definitely a spot to go. I need to come in and get some cocktails soon. Really like the coffee, but just really excited to have you guys as part of the community. And wanted to kind of also let you get a chance to tell us where we can find you guys on social media, how we can connect there, and any last things you want to say or promote.
Sure. So you can find us on Facebook at FairLane Cocktails and Coffee. On Instagram, we are _FairLane_CC. So right now, we are really having a great time with our Instagram account. We have some super talented folks in our barista program that have really taught me a lot, and I've given them the reins of our Instagram, and they've been doing such a fantastic job. JJ Spazzari and Ray Brennan have been amazing, to say the least, when it comes to that. So super stoked to work with those guys. So check us out on Instagram. They got some great reels, some great shots, and we're working on more coming down. We have some really cool illustrations that we're about to start dropping that are breakdowns and deconstructions of our cocktails that really look really cool. So
we need to get some content when you guys do those 4 hours over at Greater Goods.
Yeah, that's another thing we're looking forward to.
A little behind the scenes action over there.
Right, getting the team together to go over there. We're excited about that. It's gonna be a fun field trip.
Well, awesome, Kevin. I appreciate it, man. This has been great. And if you're listening here, make sure you get out and go over to FairLane and get some coffee or some drinks, and we'll chat offline about some of the event stuff, because I have some cool ideas that we might be able to partner on there and get some people in the door. But yeah, I'm just excited for you guys. It's just great to have friendly, hospitable business owners here in town, and go out and check them out, guys.
Thanks, Bill. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Sold on Drip.
Thank you for listening to the Sold on Drip podcast. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. If you would like to connect, learn more about Dripping Springs, or have any questions regarding Central Texas real estate, you can find me at soldondrip.com or on Instagram at Bill Cafferetta. I hope to see you around town.